Yo, all praise to Allah, man. Don't listen to the new Slim Shady, man. If you're easily offended, man, that shit was fire, man. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Today we're doing a review / discussion for the brand new Eminem album, right? Obviously, the death of Slim Shady, Coup de... How does it go?
Coup d'etat, I think.
Coup d'etat, whatever.
It's like what the new Joker movie. It's like the same subtitle.
Basically, right?
Honestly, I think he probably stole it from the Joker.
Yeah, because that nigga's a fucking clown.
Yeah.
So, my boy, he's obviously into rap music. He's made a couple albums and all that. Woo, woo, woo. Now, me, as far as my relationship with Eminem, I guess you could say a relationship. My relationship with Eminem basically started during the Marshall Mathers 2. Like, during that era where he's, like, trying to escape the whole Slim Shady persona. And that's around the time that I fell in love with, like, Eminem's music. And his music during that time of my life, because I was a fucked up teenager, right? I loved it a lot, right? I was like fucking, like, I listened to Eminem every fucking day, right? And I'm not gonna lie, after Marshall Mathers 2, Shady 15 came out, right? Which is really just a, a compilation, right? Now, I was there the night it came out. I actually got it on CD from Best Buy, right? Now, from that point forward, that Shady 15, Marshall Mathers 2, that era, man, I was fucking waiting for a kick-ass Eminem album. And I'm not gonna lie to you, Eminem fucking let me down like a motherfucker, right?
Yeah, my thing with Eminem, really, I think I tried listening to his albums because my problem is like, if an artist doesn't have like a discography, like a Kanye West level type thing where it's like very different each era, I'm not really going to get invested in it. And I think I listened to the first two ones, but then I kind of did. Obviously, you know, I'm like from pop music, like the pop songs he has. I liked them when I was a kid, but I think I listened to the recent one. I think Kamikaze. I listened to that when it came out, but I haven't. You know, I'm not a big Eminem head like he used to be.
So yeah, so like as far as Eminem's me being an Eminem head, yeah, I used to be a really big like Slim Shady fan. Like this is how fucking bad I was. The little triangle with the circle, I had the chain. Like literally, that's how much of an Eminem fan I was. Now, Eminem's music since Marshall Mathers 2, because technically Shady 15 or Shady XV, whatever you call it, technically that's not an album, it's a compilation. There was new music on it, but it was a compilation, like I said, right? All the albums since then, Revival, man, I was excited for Revival. Because Walk on Water, I tried to like psyop myself into liking it, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't fucking force myself to like it, right? And then I tried listening to the album. Like, I swear to you, like, I could not listen to a song for more than 30 seconds. Like, that's how fucking bad the album was. And then Kamikaze came out, right? Now, Kamikaze, again, I tried psyoping myself into liking it, and I just couldn't do it because those albums were so fucking bad. I mean, Eminem had such a major fall from grace. Like, it almost makes me sad how fucking bad it was, right? And then Music to Be Murdered By came out, right? Now, I was already burnt out from Eminem at that point. I'm like, you know what? This nigga, he let me down like fucking 2 times already. Then the campaign speech, I like that one. Now, during that time, when that, during that era, right, Eminem had beef with MGK, and I was so, like, how do I say this? So jaded from Eminem. I was like, you know what? Fuck Eminem. He lost that fucking rap battle. But then in recent years, I've been a little bit more like, nah, fuck that. Killshot ended MGK's career, right? Now, Music to Be Murdered By, I didn't come around to that album until like last year, I would say. Because that's a really good fucking album. I mean, you got, what is it, Godzilla, Nat, the song with Dr. Dre, I forgot which one that one was, Black Magic. There's a lot of good fucking songs in that album. I would argue that's his best album since Marshall Mathers. All the other albums fucking suck. Now, as far as this album is concerned, right, the Death of Slim Shady.
You almost forgot the name.
I almost forgot the name. So the Death of Slim Shady, right? how do I say this?
I thought it was a good album, a good structure, but it's the gimmick kind of annoying.
I think the gimmick of the album, like, how do I say this? Like, if I was like 45 years old and like, you know what I mean? If I was 45,
I wear basketball shorts every day.
I wear basketball shorts every day with beat up Air Force Ones. I got 2 baby mamas. I work at a warehouse. I think then I'd like the album, right? now, the album, like I said, production wise, I think it was good. What do they call it? Concept album?
Yeah.
So that the concept album, I feel like died probably like 4 or 5 years ago. Whenever, what was it, Paper Butterfly? Whenever that came out, that was it for concept albums. Because
people now, they just want songs. We're at that point where people just need singles in their life now. They don't really want like a whole ass album. Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Yeah, because ever since the whole like Lil Wayne era, like that whole like the beginning of trap and that whole Cash Money era, you basically had like albums just with singles on it, right? Now Kendrick Lamar, kind of like, in my opinion, he kind of like broke that I guess you could say that stereotype.
Yeah, because remember we're talking about this like back during that era where people like you thought people started getting into listening to albums again.
Yeah, because I don't want to say psyop, but I was almost tricked by Kendrick Lamar into thinking that like people were going to get back into albums again, right? Like concept albums or conscious albums, whatever you want to call it. And honestly, I think
with this album, what he did, there was the one song, Brand New Dance, which is actually like a throwaway song he was going to put on Encore, I think. He basically tried to make a whole concept around that song, and then he was like, oh, I want to do all these other fill-in songs to rationalize making a whole album and bringing this song back. Because what's the first big song called? It's called like not Guilty Conscience, the Addiction song.
On the Death of Slim Shady?
Yeah, I think it's like the second song.
Give me 1 second. Habits.
Habits, yeah. So once we get into that song, you kind of start realizing like oh, this Slim Shady character is kind of like he has what's it called, like proclivities to going back to Slim Shady era, but he doesn't necessarily want to do it. It's kind of like this is kind of like a far off reference, but in like in Sonic, the modern like Sonic games, what they do is they have the old Sonic, like Sega Genesis era Sonic, and he looks very classic and everything, but they still keep on making old Sonic games still. And then they have the new Sonic games where he has the modern look from like the 2000s onward. What he's trying to do is kind of separate him and Slim Shady. And you know what else? I realized that too in the Super Bowl when was it Dr. Dre?
Yeah, I think so.
When Dr. Dre had all those people, and I think in the promo, I just vividly remember this. In the promo for that, he had Eminem and he was rapping against himself. But it was like Slim Shady. And obviously they brought it back in this the music video for Houdini. Did you see the video?
I didn't see the video.
You didn't see the video? Oh my god. If anything, that video changes, it's one of those videos that changes how you look at a song. Because if you just listen to the song, you're gonna be like, it just feels like he's repeating the.
I hate that song, by the way.
Which song? The OG song?
Houdini.
No, the OG song. The Guess Who's Back. What's it called? What's it called? Guess Who's Back?
Guess Who's Back?
That's what it's called?
Back. Are you talking about the?
What's the name of the song?
Brand New Dance?
No, the original. Like the one where he's like Batman and Robin.
Oh fuck! What is it called? It's with Dr.
Controversy?
No.
Controversy?
What the fuck is it called?
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That video, because it homages that video, the new Houdini song. That I would say that song kind of changed my perspective on it, because if you watch that video, what he does, he basically makes an AI or he makes Slim Shady actually come back, but it's like an AI version and everything. It has like the face, but it looks like Slim Shady. So what he's doing is he's trying to separate himself from Slim Shady, even though I think a lot of people already knew that, like he wanted to like from what is it, recovery or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to not be Slim Shady.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been doing that for a minute.
It kind of started with relapse. And then recovery was basically like recovery. He's recovering from being Slim Shady, basically.
Yeah.
So I feel like this album, it's like he wants to balance both the Marshall Mathers persona, I guess if you want to call it that, himself, and the Slim Shady thing, right? Now, for me personally, I didn't like that about the album. I feel like he should have gone full fucking throttle. Now, I understand why he wanted to do the Slim Shady thing, because he was like, oh, I want to go back to being offensive and all that. But should we say that for the other half?
We're gonna start talking about it right now.
Fuck it, we start talking about it right now.
The whole offensive thing is not really offensive.
It's not offensive because this is my thing, and I wrote this in my notes actually, right? Where it's like, okay, he wants to be Slim Shady, offend people and all that. Now, here's the thing.
The world's changed.
The world has changed, right? So when Slim Shady came out, this is during the Bush administration, right? So America was still pretty conservative, even if Eminem, how do you say this? Even if Eminem himself was still kind of conservative, not conservative, offensive or whatever. How do I say this? That time in America, people were still conservative, right? Saying fuck or just saying anything out of pocket was considered offensive, right? You know, when he talks about, what's that girl? Monica Lewinsky, when he's making fun out of Michael Jackson. During that time, it was taboo to be offensive. Nowadays, everybody cusses, everybody talks about nasty shit. Like, FAC, when you talk about putting a gerbil up my ass, that's like your average, Summer Walker song. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's your average female rapper fucking Sexy Red song, right? So it's like, who you were trying to offend? You're not offending conservative America, right? Because that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it does, but not really, right?
They like Eminem now. That's the thing.
That's the thing. They like Eminem, right? So Eminem, in this album, he's talking about Gen Z, and who else was he talking about?
He's talking about feminists. He probably
feminists, and calling Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner. Like, who is this for? Like, you're so fucking out of touch. Like, if this album came out, let's say, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
If this album came out 3-4 years ago, then I could be like, this is kind of offensive, I guess you could call it that. But making fun out of cancel culture, cause doesn't he talk about getting canceled in one of the songs?
Yeah.
Yeah. What song was that? Was it Lucifer?
It was the Guilty Conscious one where he's in a dream and he thinks he's getting canceled.
Yeah.
The problem with I'll say this as a side, because I think the whole idea he probably thought of this was from around 2020, because that's when I guess the word cancel culture started, and people were saying Eminem getting canceled for old lyrics that he had. I don't think people realize this. Getting canceled doesn't really happen to celebrities, especially on that caliber. You're not going to get canceled for anything. By the way, let's talk about the definition of getting canceled. It's when you lose the ability to make money. Yeah. That's what it means.
Kanye lost money.
Yeah, Kanye lost money. Sam Hyde, $1 Million Extreme, if you guys know that. They lost their show. That's an example of losing the ability to get money. Anytime your money is getting messed up on a major level, because you could even say maybe Eminem's getting canceled because when you have to buy an album, you have to be 17 or older or whatever. Because that's making you get less money, theoretically, even though no one really buys albums.
Yeah, nobody buys albums.
Oh, the Eminem album was probably in the store. Those are the only ones that come out in the store. But what Eminem deals with is not cancel culture. What cancel culture is literally when you say something on Facebook, I'm talking about us. We say something on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and then we lose our job. That's actual cancel culture. So yeah, nothing that he's dealing with is anywhere near that.
It's just out of touch. It's really out of touch. And the thing about the comments he was making on his album, about Candace Owens, it's how could you even attack Candace Owens? She's more canceled than he is. Yeah. Literally more canceled than he is. She's literally more fucking gangster than that nigga. I mean, maybe not really, but still. But in a way she is, because it's this bitch actually got fucking canceled. She got fired from the Daily Wire. So it's how are you gonna compare? How are you gonna talk shit about her? Oh, she doesn't. What did he say? This bitch forgot she's black or something.
Yeah, betrayed her race.
Yeah, like who the fuck are you? Like, are you the bishop of like blackism or something? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So
well, my theory with that is that I think because his opinion, most of his opinions on this album feel like they're from like 2016 or 18, around that era, because he doesn't really touch on anything recent. He just touches on these things that like have been being talked about for like years now when it comes to like culture war or whatever, and he's not really touching anything new. But even his opinion on Candace Owens is like
retarded.
It's not even that. It's like an opinion that like black people had like in 2019 or whatever. But now since or if you pay attention, that's probably the problem, that he doesn't really pay attention to, like, he just sees Candace Owens and he's like, yeah, race trade or whatever. But if he actually paid attention to what's going on, he would be like, oh, this is more than meets the eye. Because even other people that probably wouldn't like Candace Owens are kind of turning around. But that's just kind of the problem with, obviously, because at the end of the day, Eminem, he's a liberal. He's in Hollywood or whatever, so he's gonna have like these like just cooked opinions on things.
He's a Trump hater. He literally didn't he diss Trump on the album, or am I thinking of a different song?
He dissed them on like that one freestyle.
The campaign speeches where he dissed them.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, he's on their team, right? But trying to act like, no, I'm still against cancel culture. It's like, dude, like, this album should have been released like 5 fucking years ago. Like, literally. As far as the content of what's being said on the album, I mean, production-wise, yeah, it was good. I thought Music to Be Murdered By was better. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. The album really wasn't for me. I didn't really like it. I didn't like the... it's funny because I didn't even like Encore. Encore was the one album from before Marshall Mathers LP2 that I didn't like, and that the dance one, what is it called? Brand New Dance. I fucking hate that song. And the Houdini song I hated too. Now the Houdini song I hated it because as far as like, I guess the production wise or sonically speaking, you know, to quote Anthony Fantano, it's like he's trying too hard to be that offensive fucking crazy guy, but it's like, dude,
the most offensive thing he probably said was like the
Bruce Jenner thing?
No, probably like the Meg Thee Stallion, like aim at her feet comment. That was probably the most offensive one, that the bar that he made. And I think that was in Houdini. Yeah, that's the only thing I could consider offensive. Probably the whole album, really. But yeah, I think, but to shift a little bit, obviously, after Guilty Conscious 2 in the album, it starts just becoming like these like extra singles or whatever that he had that he just wanted to like put out, and like the one with the I Need a Doctor Girl, was that one called?
Skylar Grey. Give me a second. 1 second.
Even that one, like, it's not very it's a decent song, but obviously
temporary.
What he wanted to focus on, what I think what he really wants to rap more about was like being a father type things. But it's like no one really wants to listen to that. Like, I think that's
we're tired of the Haley fucking the Haley thing. I
really that might be because I'm not a big listener.
Yeah, because he's been rapping about Haley since fucking Slim. He's been rapping about fucking Haley since Infinite, right? His first album. I don't understand why he doesn't even sidetrack for a second. Why the fuck doesn't he re-release it? Like, that album was actually fucking goated. I know he re-released the song Infinite, but all the other songs they're just lost to time or whatever. I mean, you can find them on SoundCloud or YouTube. But I don't know why he doesn't fucking re-release them. That would have been better than the fucking new album that he came with this year. I would have preferred that. I would have gave that a 10 out of 10.
Dang. But yeah, so there's that, and then there's what is it? What else? The Toby song. I thought the song was decent, but it's clearly like a single. You didn't like that song?
Mm-mm.
You didn't like the...
I didn't like most of the... I respect it. Like, I think it's better than Kamikaze and Revival.
I think the hook on that song is decent. You know, the bars. It's one of those videos because it had a lyrical Lemonade video.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those songs that kind of is justified once you listen to the music video or you watch the music video. And then there's the last song with Jelly Roll on it. Again, it's kind of like the same thing where he's talking about his family and stuff. It's decent. It's like the pop songs are like the most decent songs that I think that I enjoyed on this. But again, just like the gimmick is cooked. And again, like you wouldn't. I guess if you're like an old head, you have to pay child support.
You wore beat up ones. You still sag your pants.
You have a Xbox One S or whatever. Like I guess the Houdini and the brand new dance you'll play it. Basically, we're making fun of this because there's all these TikToks or reels or whatever where there's these like cooked out millennials being like, "Whoa, look at this Eminem song," and they're like dancing to it. I feel like they're paid low key, but honestly, no.
I think they just sigh.
I think millennials are that damn bad. That anything that like resembles like why do you think there's like they revived freaking iCarly? Like why would they do that?
It's for millennials.
Like, who's watching that?
Or old Gen Zers like myself.
Millennials.
Literally, this whole album just feels like, you know how Disney has to like remaster everything, and then the Marvel movies they have to put in some fucking cameo. That's how this album felt. It felt like a big cameo. It's like, oh, do you remember this? Okay, well, we're gonna bring it back, like fucking like when they bought Professor X and the Fantastic Four nigga and Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Like, oh, here, look, here's a cameo. This album, this album is the No Way Home of hip hop right now.
Wow. Well, there you have it. There. We're just not gonna finish it.
Yeah, fuck that.